Welcome back to Overtime, but this time I've got myself a special guest. Matt from Rogue is here. How's it going, Matt? Thanks for joining me.
I'm good, thank you.
So, you know, I gotta ask everyone that comes through. Me and Waypunk we don't have a choice. How did you get into Rocket League? What was your story with it? I think we all have our own little way of how we got into the game. But what's yours?
So, I mean, obviously I've been a gamer my entire life. So I was just going through my Steam queue actually, and I found this game. I was like, wow, this looks like hilarious and fun. And so I actually bought it with my cousin, and I started playing it casually, just having fun, like using dumb toppers. And then I eventually started playing 1v1s like pretty seriously in preseason, and then that's like how I got into it. It was a bad experience.
1v1s. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kept playing, and eventually, somewhere in the timeline, you must have met Sizz. And for anyone that doesn't watch, you all probably at this point know the Matt and Sizz combo. If not, even if you don't want to, you probably know Sizz by now. Yeah. At what point did you run into Sizz and you guys start playing together?
I think I ran into Sizz around October of 2015, and it was during my 1v1 spree in preseason, and he absolutely demolished me. And then I found out he like played with like Quinn Lobdell with like Orange Creamsicle during like ESLs. I was like, wow, this guy's like really good, and I actually asked him to add me and like teach me how to play 1v1s.
That's actually a lot of fun. So I know for the longest time, and I know this from talking to a lot of top players, you guys slowly started to dominate the twos ladder. You just played constantly together, probably one of the longest standing duos, I'd say in North America, to be honest. When did you kind of make the transition towards wanting to try out threes and do the competitive side of things? When did you feel like, hey, I'm good enough to be a competitor?
So I played with Sizz and twos a lot just because like his personality is like so fun to be around. Yeah. And on the side, I made my own team. Like my first team was called Battlecard Galactica.
That was you?
Yeah, that was
me. I saw that roster on one of the big list of names, and I thought it was one of the best team names ever.
Yeah, no, that's an old name. But eventually we had to sub one of my players out, and then we just got Sizz because he was just on. And then like we played really well, and so I figured like why not transition this to threes, because like ESL only did 3v3s at the time, so I was like, easy way to make money.
Yeah. So then eventually, we saw you in the RLCS with A-Money. That was your us. It was you, Sizz, and A-Money working together. Yeah. And you really didn't perform too well. I think you guys came in like the last in the group stage for, I think it was season 2?
Season 1.
Or season 1?
Yeah.
Like, how did that make you feel? I know sometimes that can like really crush people. Did it motivate you? Did it make you feel like you needed to maybe give up? Like, where was your mind moving from that moment forward?
So my mindset kind of after losing wasn't like that, like, oh, I should stop playing. It was kind of more motivating because Sizz and I, we were like, as you said, we were the power duo, and then like we kind of knew that our third was bringing us down, so that we just needed like a new one, because A-Money was kind of like a last-second pick, and it just like didn't work out too well because like personalities and like skill and obviously things like that. And so we just decided like if we can get someone who's like equal to our level, we'd be able to like crush pretty easily. What
was it about you and Sizz working together? Like how would you describe your guys' gameplay if that's too much of a heavy-handed question? Like, do you guys just kind of know where each other is all the time, or is it one of those like you just have such good communication?
I think that we've played with each other for so long. Most of our like rotational play and like passing is just like intuitive. Like we just like, know where someone will like probably be, and it typically works out. And just like that, like really, that like sixth sense kind of really helps when we play.
So eventually, you guys found Turtle, or Turtle found you. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. You mind telling me how did that happen? How did that roster come to be?
So basically we saw that, well, Sizz was a sub for Orbit for second season because he was working on school and stuff. And so when Orbit got last in season 2, I believe, Turtle like was already telling Sizz that like, oh yeah, I'm probably just gonna leave. And so Sizz thought it was like, yeah, me, Matt, and Sizz, like me, Matt, and Turtle, sorry, yeah. Would be like a great team because like I said, like the third, like the issue of finding like a suitable third, and like Turtle like fit the role like really perfectly.
Whether you guys wanted it to or not, you kind of became probably the North American favorite at this last lane. You guys had so much personality. Was that, I imagine that had to have been a bit of a surprise, because I know you guys probably came in semi-confident, but you know you had NRG kind of always there. NRG's kind of always making all of North America have a shadow cast over them. But how did it feel knowing like so much of the crowd was behind you guys?
Well, it was like a really good feeling actually, because like I know a lot of people like jokingly like say I hate Sizz in Twitch chat, but like Sizz's personality is just like really insane. Like it's just like such a crowd pleaser. And then like you have like Turtle with the American flag, like just like pumping everyone up. Like it's hard not to be a crowd favorite, especially in North America.
That was especially, I remember like sitting there watching and just listening when you guys came out with that American flag. It's hard to describe to people that are watching on stream, but it's like this roar just came from like the back of the auditorium to the front.
Yeah.
You heard like just like 2,000 people screaming. It was really cool, and it caught us all off guard because I think we all probably expected like NRG was going to be the North American favorite, and you guys just came and took it all by storm. And there's a point in your life where you kind of have to admit you're a pro gamer. And I don't think it's ever anyone's goal. I don't think anyone's like, I want to be a pro gamer. It's in the back of everyone's heads, like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But now with your org, I know you've been traveling around the world doing all these fun things. Like, you know, how has that felt, just becoming like, well, this is real. Like, this is what you're doing right now?
Yeah, it's so surreal. Like, obviously, like you said, like the thoughts in the back of your head, like, oh, I want to be a pro gamer, but like it just like happens without you realizing. Like, I think I was in sophomore or freshman year when I started playing, and like I never thought like, oh, maybe this game will blow up and maybe I'll become like a pro and be like traveling all across the world. Like, I just did like a thing in Amsterdam for Rogue, which was an insane experience.
Yeah.
And then like I'm playing all these tournaments. Like, it went from like a Sunday ESL every week for like $150 to like a tournament every single day, like flying out everywhere for LANs. Like, it's just an insane experience.
I remember we chatted at Season 1 LAN that was here in LA, and I just remember having the conversation where I think almost every player I talk to is always like, don't worry, Carpet, I'll see you next season. Everyone has that. But it's so cool to see like you truly came with that. We saw you again, and then now we're seeing you at one of the top North American teams. And to touch on how you've been performing, you guys came 4th at DreamHack as the only North American team there, and everyone kind of says North America is weaker to Europe. How did it feel knowing you did that well against a lot of European rosters?
Well, I think it felt like especially validating, considering that our flights there was just, all of our flights were terrible. Like, Sis lost his luggage, Turtle got sick, and then Turtle got me sick. And so like we got 2 sick guys and like some guy without like clothes, and we're just playing, and we still managed to get 4th, which I thought was like a really good result.
Yeah. How did you feel about all the European rosters you went up against? Because some were new, some you hadn't really been able to play against. Was it more of like a fun experience?
I don't think it was as fun as like say LAN, because like obviously you have like the 2,000 people at LAN, and it's like North America bios, which is pretty nice. But yeah, no, it was still a really great experience. Like, just like going around DreamHack and like showing off the Twitch Lounge wristband. It was nice. So
you are now one of the only 2 teams that has a bid into Season 4. What is your team's mentality going from here on forward? Are you guys, you know, you have to grind it? Do you feel comfortable where you're at? Do you have like big grand plans for yourselves?
Well, I think that we definitely need to grind, because like obviously we didn't get to play Rocket League for about a week because of Rogue being in Europe. And so I think we need to grind, but I think, at least what I believe, is that a lot of North American teams are probably just going to end up making teams like the last few days, and they're not going to be like too fresh. And so like we're just going to come out like fully like prepared and warm and just like destroy everyone, hopefully.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Matt is going to come with Rogue and destroy it. Matt, thank you so much for coming. Thanks everyone else for tuning in, but thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it. And when we come back, we're going to actually have some really fun stuff for you guys. We're going to be doing some Dream Team stuff between me and Quinn, so don't go anywhere.